General Prepware. Physics for aviation. If all or a significant part of a stall strip is missing on an airplane wing, a likely result will be asymmetrical lateral control at or near stall angles of attack. Which of the following statements is correct? When the collective pitch control lever is raised, the blade angle of all the rotor blades increases uniformly, and they create the lift that allows the helicopter to take off vertically. If both the volume and the absolute temperature of a confined gas are doubled, the pressure will not change. Under which conditions will the rate of flow of a liquid through a metering orifice or jet be the greatest, all other factors being equal? Unmetered pressure, 17 psi, metered pressure, 5 psi, atmospheric pressure, 14.7 psi. In physics, which of the following factors are necessary to determine power? Force exerted, distance moved, and time required. The purpose of an aircraft wing dihedral is to increase lateral stability. Which of the following is Newton's first law of motion, generally termed the law of inertia? Objects at rest tend to remain at rest, and objects in motion tend to remain in motion at the same speed and in the same direction unless acted on by an external force. The temperature to which humid air must be cooled at constant pressure to become saturated is called dew point. How much work input is required to lower, not drop, a 120-pound weight from the top of a 3-foot table to the floor? 360 foot-pounds. Which statement concerning heat and/or temperature is true? Temperature is a measure of the kinetic energy of the molecules in any substance. The purpose of stall strips on airplane wings is to ensure that the wing root areas stall first. Which atmospheric conditions will cause the true landing speed of an aircraft to be the greatest? High temperature with high humidity. The speed of sound in the atmosphere changes with the change in temperature. Aspect ratio of a wing is defined as the ratio of the wingspan to the mean chord. Which of the following is not considered a method of heat transfer? Diffusion. The speed of sound in the atmosphere is most affected by variations in which of the following? Ambient temperature. Which is the ratio of the water vapor actually present in the atmosphere to the amount that would be present if the air were saturated at the prevailing temperature and pressure? Relative humidity. The boiling point of a given liquid varies directly with pressure. Which will weigh the least? 35 parts of dry air and 65 parts of water vapor. Which statement concerning Bernoulli's principle is true? The pressure of a fluid decreases at points where the velocity of the fluid increases. What force must be applied to roll a 120-pound barrel up an inclined plane 9 feet long to a height of 3 feet, disregard friction? 40 pounds. An engine that weighs 350 pounds is removed from an aircraft by means of a mobile hoist. The engine is raised 3 feet above its attachment mount, and the entire assembly is then moved forward 12 feet. A constant force of 70 pounds is required to move the loaded hoist. What is the total work and put required to move the hoist? 840 foot-pounds. The desired effect of using winglets on an aircraft's wingtips is to increase the lift-to-drag ratio. A wing with a very high aspect ratio, in comparison with a low aspect ratio, will have a low stall speed. If the volume of a confined gas is doubled without the addition of more gas, the pressure will, assume the temperature remains constant. Answer: be reduced to 1/2 its original value. If the fluid pressure is 800 psi and a 1/2-inch line supplying an actuating cylinder with a piston area of 10 square inches, the force exerted on the piston will be 8,000 pounds. The main rotor system on a helicopter is classified in 3 groups. Which of those listed is not one of these groups? The flexible beam rotor system. Which condition is the actual amount of water vapor in a mixture of air and water? Absolute humidity. If the temperature of a confined liquid is held constant and its pressure is tripled, the volume will remain the same. If a double-acting actuating cylinder in a 3000 psi system has a piston with a surface area of 3 square inches on the extension side and a rod with a cross-section area of 1 square inch attached to the piston on the other side, approximately how much force will the actuator be able to produce when retracting? Answer: 6,000 pounds. Refer to Figure 61. The amount of force applied to rope A to lift the weight is 15 pounds. An airplane wing is designed to produce lift resulting from positive air pressure below the wing's surface and negative air pressure above the wing's surface, along with the downward deflection of air. What is absolute humidity? The actual amount of water vapor in a mixture of air